are live. Hello to all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome back to the All Elite Ensemble review, your weekly AEW post show here at BC WrestlePod. My name is Mikey, El Jefe of BC WrestlePod, and joining me this lovely evening, of course, back at it again, for the second day in a row, is Mr. Benny T. Bear. Happy to have you here, my friend.
The T stands for thunder. Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. Let's rock and roll. Also,
Let's
if you like
uh-huh.
this, drop a like, hit the like button.
Honestly, it's just like, hey guys, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below for all the fun stuff. Alrighty, I'm gonna make this intro really short because we got lots of things to cover. We got a Dynamite and a Collision, and we are making predictions for the card that we have so far for Double or Nothing, which I'm excited to watch this Sunday. So let's just keep this brief. We go live on pretty much everywhere, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick most of the days of the week at this point. We have a social media at BC WrestlePod, merch at our store, shop, BC WrestlePod shop.fourthwall.com. And we have a coffee bot to help us pay for pay-per-views and extra stuff, especially during the summer because I'm an educator, but I don't get paid during the summer, unfortunately, or at least the month of July, I should say. So every little penny counts. Also, we're gonna need that depending if I have to pay for extra subscription because MLW just announced that they're gonna have a weekly show starting on Saturday, May the 30th. I'm like, well, time to get back into the MLW phase because it's been the first half of this year. We haven't outside of Battle Riot, we haven't really had much of MLW content like we did last year. So I will be here to cover MLW in some capacity. So that should be fun. Anywho, I gotta start recruiting to see if anyone wants to. If not, I will be here to do quick reviews. All right, let's get into that. We got a Dynamite, a Collision, and predictions to do. So let's get into AEW Dynamite, as I like to call it. So let's just get into it. So first, this segment was great as MJF was watching all the bald people and just looking at all the bald heads. And Ricochet, Ricochet being an absolute Chad, is like, hey man, it's okay to be bald, but you won't be as handsome as I am. It's great stuff. I had a good cackle. I loved it. Simple and effective.
Yeah, what was it? Daniels and Sanjay, right?
Tommaso just removing the beanie on purpose.
Yeah. This was fantastic. Went on a little bit too long, but for my taste, but like it was still great. I'm not putting it down. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and it definitely opened up the show and it would come back at the very end with it. So I'm not mad at it, which was like your opening appetizer and your teaser for what was to be seen at the very end of the show. But after this little opening segment, we just jumped straight into our first match, which was just like, hey, let's decide to just cram as many people as we can in the first 30 minutes of the show. I was like, dang, y'all. So we get this 10-man tag team match. This is Cajun Cope, the Young Bucks, and Orange Cassidy taking on FTR, the Dogs, and Tommaso Ciampa. I'm just like, this is a lot of bodies. Oh, this is a lot of bodies. And a lot of there's a lot of like murder board-esque connecting the dots of who's feuding with who and who's got beef with who and why it's a lot. And this match was a lot. Was I entertained? Yes. Did I think that we needed this 10-man tag? I'm gonna lean towards kind of, but if we did not have it or we reduced the amount of people, I would have been okay with it too. I
Yeah.
will be honest though, my biggest critique is I just feel bad for the Dogs because we're just throwing them in multi-person matches right now.
Yeah. It's funny, like, they sort of have, like, a not unofficial feud with the Young Bucks, which is fine, because they work perfectly together. Like, the Dogs are, like, super aggressive, and the Young Bucks are the Young Bucks. So, this was really fun. One thing I noted in this match is that, like, Christian is probably one of the smartest people or the smartest workers in this company, right? Because like, he constantly changes up his style, right? And, like, he's not doing anything, but he's still great. Edge on the other hand, oh, sorry, Cope on the other hand, I haven't seen anything different, but whatever. Although I did see the last pay per view, we busted out like an educator, which is like a standing sharpshooter. That was pretty cool. I haven't seen that in a long time. This was really good. FTR and Champa are like a tag team, and I'm like, yeah, I need this. A trio, whatever. And last thing I'll say is that Young Bucks and Christian and Cage this is something that's been brewing since like 2013, 2014 with the E&C Pot of Awesomeness deep cut. I love the that Cope had matching gear with the Young Bucks. That was pretty cool.
It was fun, and honestly, the crowd enjoyed it, and I feel like that's all that matters because who am I? I am just a person who watched it on television. But Cage Cope and Orange Cassidy pick up the victory here. We would be seeing a lot more of these folks over the whole weekend, which is insane because we got things happening between certain people at Double or Nothing and things that are happening in this 3-hour block of Dynamite and Collision tomorrow. So should be interesting stuff. But we got to keep this going though, because after this match, we end up getting another John Moxley and Will Ospreay, talking in the development of the story. I'm just gonna get my thirsty boy out of the way. I was like, Moxley, you're looking great. I was like, hi, Ospreay, you're cool too, but I don't want to fight Alex Windsor. I'm gonna be honest, she'll beat me up. I was like, I will get hurt. I also won't fight Renee. But anywho, that's besides the point. I really do enjoy these vignettes we're getting from Ospreay and Moxley. I think it's really fun. Though, Benny, I don't know if you agree or disagree when I say this. I feel now is the time to step it up into the next level of whatever story we're going for. Because we've been getting the training arc, and I love the training arc. I'm hoping we get the next level after Double or Nothing with Will Ospreay. Spoiler alert. Taking, getting one up on Samoa Joe, but who knows? Anything can happen. Things are crazy. What I would love to see though, and this is a deep cut because I would love to see somebody like Darby who has told like Darby tell Will that you don't need John Moxley to be a champion because Darby got to be a champion without John Moxley when Moxley and Darby were having their whole feud like late last year, early this year. I like this. I still do. But I think I'm ready for us to move into the next chapter of the story, wherever it's deciding to progress, because I feel like we're kind of spinning our wheels. So I'm hoping that after Double or Nothing, we will see the next chapter. But who knows? I don't work for the company. I don't write these stories. So who I am just a person on the internet. So Benny, what
Hey,
did you have any thoughts on that?
absolutely. Also, what else are we here to do? Except for give our critiques. And I completely agree with you. I was watching this backstage segment, rooftop segment, and going, "Oh crap, I wasn't listening." But turn on, John. You was cracked.
Be like,
Also, like, I didn't realize that, I've noticed in the past couple, a little while that, like, has the Mark has, like, gotten, like, really into shape, right? But it's like,
"Hmm,
are you just doing cardio? Crazy, man. Like,
that's
he's just, like
insane."
he's just, like, running on a bike and then, like, doing crunches. But I digress, I'm sorry. Go over back at But
That
the subtext of this was really great. Teaching Osprey to, like, remember who he was.
Mhm.
The guy that won the Best of the Super Juniors, like, 3 times in a row, like, a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, It's like, you still got that dog in you, you just gotta find it, and I completely agree with you, just to sum it up real quick, that, like, we need to start hitting another level because, Osprey on another level. Because like, around this time last year, like, we were heating up Osprey and Hangman, So, the shootout in the desert or whatever it was. Like, so I hope they're not waiting too long to pull the trigger on this, because there's a lot of people sitting at home in England. It's like, well, what's happening?
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes all down, honestly. And we will keep you updated on the developing story of Moxley and Will Ospreay. But after this vignette, we also get another one where we learned that the demand has inquired the help of Mark Davis and from the Don Callis family, as well as the dogs to help them in Stadium Stampede. So I'm like, well, 7-on-7 is gonna be crazy. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it was crazy because, like, the last Stadium Stampede in 2020, like, there was, like, 10 on 10. So, like, now we got, 5 on 5, whatever. And now we have 14 people in this. This is gonna be a crap show.
It's gonna be a car crash, and I'm very interested to see how they get away with certain things because unless things have changed, the athletic commissions is like big no-no on blood and gore. So we shall see
Yeah.
how that goes down this Sunday. I'm very interested. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Maybe I don't know. Anyways, if you live in New York and you're living if you're going to the event and you know some information, let us know because we're gonna be very interested to see how that goes. All right. Let's keep this going. We get a next match, even though it's more so a tuna. Speedball Mike Bailey wins this match. I was like, Cool. I love you, Speedball.
Yeah, this was fun. That poor kid, but this was fun.
Which then, we get into which we then lead straight immediately into Kevin Knight's, TNT Champion Open Challenge, right? I was like, okay, cool. Who we gonna bring out? Like, who's gonna fight? And then Brian Cage, I've missed you.
The
I've missed
Swolver
you. Wolverine is back on my television screen. Ah,
Oh, man. I heard somebody say, like, the other day, like, "Do you think Brian Cage worked out a little bit?"
no, really? I couldn't tell.
Also, during this match, like, did you have to put on that much baby oil or whatever it was? Because Jet was
Feel
slipping and sliding all over the place.
Oh my gosh. This match was also crazy too because Kevin Knight was just like nonstop, like jumping, like overshooting a lot, which is okay. Like I don't mind given the fact that this is a high flyer versus like literally Wolverine himself. I'm really happy. I miss Brian Cage. And
Mm.
now Don Callis has another monster back in the faction. So it's now he's got 3 of them, Lance Archer, Mark Davis, and now this Wolverine is back. I'm like, "Damn, it's gonna be insane." Like, this is gonna be wild.
Hopefully, this means that we get to see a little bit more Lance Archer in the ring.
Brian Cage, Lance Archer tag team, let's go.
Yeah, because Lance Archer, like and Brian Cage came out here with Roppongi Vice and Lance Archer here for this entrance, but I think Lance Archer was the only one that stuck around. They were a tag team before he got injured or whatever, Murder Machines or whatever they're called.
Yeah, so who
Sign me
knows?
up for that.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully, they'll put put them back together. The match itself was a lot of fun. Brian Cage was fun here. Kevin Knight is still our TNT champion, and I love that. It's gonna be great. Also, because I didn't really know when to put this into the show, but Speedball has a match with Darby tomorrow, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm excited."
Yeah.
Dang.
I'm really excited for that match. Darby seems to be burning the candle at both ends, but we'll get there.
We're gonna talk about it when we get to Collision, especially. But Kevin Knight, still your TNT champion. Fun match. Happy to see Wolverine back on my screen. Alrighty, we keep it going because after that match, though, guys, even though it seems like a lifetime ago and it was only last week, we finally got the brackets announced for the men's and women's Owen Hart this year. So we're gonna talk about the men's matches and the women's matches. So we're gonna talk about the brackets. So let's start off with the men's. So, this is a field of 8 for both men and women tournaments. I wish we expanded it to a 10 or a 16-person field, but hey, you know what? Again, I don't work at this company. But the matchups that we have on the left side of the bracket, we have Samoa Joe versus Will Ospreay and Mark Davis versus Jungle Jack Perry. And then on the right side, we have Swerve Strickland versus Bandito and Claudio Castagnoli versus Brody King. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, hot damn, this is actually a pretty stacked field. And it should be mentioned that Joe versus Osprey and Swerve versus Bandito, both matches will be happening at Double or Nothing. So should be very interesting. I actually really like the men's bracket. I was like, damn, this is gonna be fun. Now, unfortunately, I think my little brain is like, okay, we're definitely building up to Osprey and Strickland, probably round 3, round 2. But I hope we get some surprises. But I do enjoy the men's bracket. I think this is a fun one for them. Benny, any quick thoughts on the men's bracket? Okay. Well, well, oh no. Alrighty.
Oh my god. So it wouldn't let me on for whatever, but I digress. The Owen bracket for the men's is a little bit easier to read, but that doesn't mean that I'm not excited for it because, like, all these matches I'm looking forward to. Like Swerve versus Bandito, that's gonna be great. We saw the lead up to that at
Super card, yeah.
Joe versus Ospreay is honestly a dream match, and Claudio versus Brody King, that sounds amazing. And was it Mark Davis versus Jungle Jack again? But whatever, whatever. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Will Ospreay's payback to a couple weeks ago. So it looks like a fun time. I'm here for it.
Alrighty. So that is the men's. So let's get into the women's, which is I'm not mad at the participants that we have for the women's because I think it's very interesting. However, I have questions about certain things, right? So, on the women's bracket side of things, on the left-hand side, we have CMLL Women's Champion Persephone taking on Stardom's Hazuki, which I'm excited about. And then we also have Willow Nightingale versus Alex Wins. So, I'm excited for that one. And that match is happening at Double or Nothing this Sunday. Then on the other side is where I start to have questions. specifically for this first matchup, Mina Shirakawa versus Athena. I'm just like, no shade to Athena. Love you, girl. Love my fallen goddess, right? Tony, I know we love Athena, and I know she was in this last year. But why? I was like, I don't think she needs to be here. And honestly, I was like, I love you, Mina, but I'm like, Mina's gonna lose, and that's like that makes me mad. That makes me mad. I was like, I love you, Mina, but you ain't gonna win. Now, on the opposite end of this, I have a very interesting one, and I would love to see her go far because then we have Sky Blue taking on probably one of the hottest women's Joshi freelancers right now, and I love her. So I'm excited. Now, at first, I was also a little worried because I'm like, are we going to have to wait weeks between certain matches? Because as people know, Persephone and Sari are currently out on injury. But according to Tony Khan and the press conference from Supercard, their matches will be in June, which then by then, according to doctors and the promotions themselves, they will be cleared to have their matches, which I was like, okay, good. Because I was wondering what was happening and why Persephone was removed from the survival of the fittest match, but now I understand she got injured. And Sari is taking some time to make sure her neck is in good order before having this match against Sky Blue. I don't want to say I'm less excited about the women's bracket. I do like that we have more international women in here, but that also is kind of, I guess, where my critique is because you have a lot of women on the roster that we could have utilized, Tony. And I know we're building up to Forbidden Door, so working with promotions and getting their stars on the bracket, like, is probably part of the deal. I would have liked to see mostly AEW women. Then that's where I have an issue with like Athena being here. I know she's our ROH Forever champion, but she's the ROH champion. And I'm like, I don't, unless you have her win and we're calling her up to AEW, like, what are we doing? If we're pulling her up to AEW full time, what are we doing? Anyways, Benny, how do we feel about the women's bracket? I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I would like to hear your thoughts and your opinions.
This one, I honestly have no idea where it's gonna go, and I like that. I'm pretty sure Hazuki is like a tag wrestler, so like I could be wrong, but that match is gonna slap either way. Willow versus Alex Windsor. I'm looking forward to that one too. I'm looking forward to pretty much everyone. Like it's just like it's maybe third time's the charm for Athena. Like nothing gets my hopes up about it, you know. Like, I mean, like she won the gauntlet last year, got a title shot and lost. So like, and everything we'll get to later on, like people who come from ROH to the proper just lose. So I want Athena to win. I just don't see it. And
Yeah.
what you say?
No, I just was saying, yeah, I agree with you.
Sky Blue versus Surf. That's really fun. Sky's been really inconsistent lately, so like I really don't know how that it's gonna pan out. Yeah, but I like Sky. I'm not saying anything bad about her.
No, I agree. And like I said, I do appreciate the women's bracket actually having like international talent for the women, especially since the finals is going to be at Forbidden Door, which is great. And I'm not saying that the men's needed international talent because you have some heavy hitters there too. I just wish that Tony would have utilized some of the heavy hitters that we have. But then again, like we'll talk about in our predictions for Double or Nothing, you have four of your biggest heavy hitters in a four-way championship match, which don't think we needed a four-way. I'm not gonna complain because I love all four women who are involved in that, but, like, we could have maybe put a Sheeta and a Hater in here or, like, taken a Statlander and have listen, a Statlander versus Willow final would kinda go ham. Like, it would have gone ham, but you know what? I'm here for it. I'm very excited to see Willow and Windsor at Double or Nothing this Sunday, and we'll talk about that more when we get to predictions. But let's keep this going. Excited that the Owen is back and that the finals are going to be at Forbidden Door, so should be fun. Alrighty. After our brackets, though, we get Osprey versus Ace Austin, and this was fun. I have beef with people online, but when don't I ever? Because people are like, "Oh, it was just like Osprey should be beating Ace Austin in like 5 minutes," and I'm like, no, like, why is it wrong for him to go like a 10 to 15-minute match with Ace Austin, even if we know that the inevitability is that Ospreay's gonna win? I think Ace Austin is great, and I think that he has a very unique sense of wrestling style and technique. And I honestly had a fun time with this one. People just need to chill out. Not everything needs to be a squash match for Osprey. He's not going for a championship yet, y'all. He's just learning and this character is evolving. So y'all need to calm down. I enjoyed this match. Benny, what did you think?
I'm somewhere in the middle on that one because I understand that they needed to show this newer side of Osprey, right? Like using the Muda lock and then like the neck comes into play. I just don't know what we're doing with Ace. Like if there's ever gonna be anything to do with Ace. Like I love Ace. He's great. It's just like, you don't have to go 15 minutes with somebody who you're not building, you know? Like, I sort of see both sides, but I still enjoyed the match. I just didn't think it needed to be as long. Like, you didn't need to go at 15.
That is very fair, and I can see your point, and I appreciate your thoughts as well. Alrighty, but Osprey wins against Ace Austin, so don't really have too much to say on the matter. So let's keep this train rolling because we get into our next part of the show, which, this shit was funny for several different reasons. Well, first of all, we have Takeshita who, has a match, unless y'all forgot, because I partially did, that Okada and Takeshita have a match coming up at Double or Nothing. And Darby was supposed to happen here. But Okada had to go back to Japan to deal with some sort of family issue, which is real and not in storyline. So Takeshi be coming in to fight Darby tonight on Dynamite in the main event instead. So first, MJF comes in and hypes Takeshita up, saying, hey, if you beat Darby, like y'all can get this cash, like just talking great. And then Takeshita talks in Japanese, and Callis and MJF think it's like, oh, he's praising MJF. I translated it a little bit, and MJF was just Takeshita was making fun of MJF and his hair, and he's just like, "You gonna be bald very soon." And I got a chuckle. But then Benny, I don't have a picture for this, but I lost my absolute damn mind when Andrade comes in and faces MJF. I'm like, "Oh, are they about to square up?" And Andrade, without saying a word, just takes off his hair and just like shakes his head and just hair flip at MJF's face, and I was dying. I was just like, "Oh my gosh." Like, Andrade is giving diva behavior, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think that Andrade face turn is coming really, really soon, and it's gonna be glorious when it does. This was really funny. I really like the added layers of giving Dawn the Dynamite diamond ring. Takesha, I didn't know what he said, so that's pretty awesome. You got like an iPhone or something like a
Google
Google Translate.
Translate, pull a Shibata.
That's awesome. That just adds so much more. Like that's fantastic. It's like I watched a little bit of DDT. Little side note: I watched a little bit of DDT, and Takeshita is usually like the straight man to everybody else's wildness.
Right.
So hearing him just being a little silly Billy is pretty great.
It really is. But again, that plus Andrade giving diva behavior, their face turns for both Takeshita and for Andrade, I feel like are both coming very soon. And I'm looking forward to face Takeshita and face Andrade, honestly.
Yeah, we need Cinnabon back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited and I cannot wait. All right, let's keep this going though, because after this little backstage segment, we get into a pretty decent women's trios match as the semi. We get the Triangle of Madness versus the Brawling Birds and Hikaru Shida. I was just like, interesting combination. You got two out of the three women who are involved in that fatal four way. I'm trying to think. I'm still trying to process how I feel about this match. I thought it was fine. I wasn't a stickler for Tekla causing a DQ with the title and then everybody fighting and then people running out to set up some stuff. I just wish the women got more time, I guess is where I'm at with this. And that's a constant thing that I say. I'm tired of saying it, but I will continue to say it until something change. Because hashtag let the women wrestle. But that is my soapbox moment.
Yeah, it's almost like they're being punished because Tony and Mercedes aren't here. But
This is
yeah,
what happens when you don't build anyone else up. I'm just
yeah, right. But it's, you give somebody a belt for a year and a half, and then don't build anybody else. But when they leave, you ain't got nobody else. But I digress. I really like this match. Even the DQs. Crowd was clearly like this was one of the matches that like the crowd ate up everything.
they popped for this match. I was like, all right. I was like, I see y'all.
Yeah, exactly. And which makes it even more frustrating. Like,
Oh my gosh, I know.
because you're seeing the crowd going ape shit, and they get 7 minutes. Like,
That's just rude.
better,
Real,
do better. I'm
honestly.
done. I'm yelling now. Do better.
Be like, so I agree with you. I appreciate that the crowd was behind this match for the 7 minutes that we got for it. And again, I was not mad at the DQ. I was like, you know what is different? It kind of makes sense for Tekla and how she's been winning. in the last couple of matches that we've seen her in, and I'm not upset about it. I am upset that we don't get more time for the women and more than one women's segment or match and things like that, but whatever. I don't book this show. Anthony Khan, please give the women's more time. I'm like, y'all got some really fun folks. Let's do better by them. Anyways, yeah.
One thing I really liked too was when everybody came out to, like, beat up the good guys, and then, like, Willow and, the reinforcements came out, and Sheeta was just like, I don't want none of this," right?
She's
'Cause
like, I don't
her
got
heel
beat. She's like, girl, I'm not trying to get hurt before this title match. Like, uh-uh.
Yeah, right, and because I love this new level of Sheeta, and, like, when Alex Windsor, like, wakes up and, like, gets to her feet, she goes, "Wait!"
Oh my gosh. Windsor is great. I love her, and she's
So great,
fantastic.
man, so
I
great.
just I love it. So, despite the time, I really do like everything. And it does set up us a lot for tomorrow night too, because we had Thunder come out, Willow come out, like the God Squad, as I call them, come out for the save for our baby faces. Well, the Brawling Birds, I should say. She just like, I got a title match. Deuces. So
Yeah. Well, one last thing. Yes, we do not book the show, but we do pay for the show.
God,
So
Tony, I swear.
I know like what is it? $50 is just a drop in the hat. Like that's what you pay the maitre d or whatever. But like if everybody's saying the same thing, there is an issue. Like fix it.
Do it right now, or at least, going into the summer. Prove me wrong, Tony. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Just take small steps. I'll take small steps at this point. I'm not asking for something grand to happen overnight, but do better by the women. Anyways, that is our TED Talk for the evening. So let's keep this going because we still got Collision to talk about. But after this, though, we get into our main event AEW World Championship match. Darby Allin defending his title against Konosuke Takeshita. Guys, this was my favorite match of Dynamite. And honestly, I feel like this is one of my favorite matches of the whole past week of AEW television. Especially Takeshita just doing Germans out of nowhere on top of the rope and just like a bridging German, no less. So I was like, Takeshita, you're free. And I love it.
And,
Oh my gosh. The crowd was so like I mean, everybody loves Darby, but I really enjoyed watching like the crowd equally as hard cheering for Takeshita as well. Again, that face turn is going to be glorious if we do it right.
yeah.
Yeah, I love this match.
I completely agree, man. I was just like I'm blown away by this match. And Darby defended the title twice this week. And which is absolutely insane. I mean, this one was clearly way better than the next one, but there's levels to this. There's levels to this, and the fact that like Takeshi's the TV champion, right? Like it has it in the graphic, but like I understand why he doesn't go through customs and all that stuff with the belt, But could they bring it up on TV? It's in the graphic. Like it makes no sense.
It's
Like
like y'all should be mentioning this on television all the time, not just for when Forbidden Door season coming up.
yeah, right? Like
Same thing with Alex Windsor, man. Like y'all should be talking about how she is the strong women's champion, not just right now, but like whatever. Again, I don't work for this company. So if they paid me to write some stuff, I would not say no.
well, it's okay to be upset. You know what I mean? Because, like, I don't be honest with you, I don't think things are hitting as great as everybody says online right now for me. Like, what are we doing with Takeshita and Okada? Like, why is it taking a year to get here? Like,
I was like, what's T? Like, why? Like, we kept saying, oh man, it should happen at Dynasty or it should. Honestly, it should have happened at
like
Revolution. Don't get me wrong. Takeshita and Mox was fun, but I would have loved to see Takeshita and Okada at Revolution this year.
it could have happened at World's End. It could have happened at Full Gear. It could have happened at Wrestle Dream.
They keep
What are
adding
we doing?
to be honest, okay? I we know this on paper. I know this match is going to slap. Like that
Mm.
there's no contention about it for me. But you keep adding these weird small layers where we know they don't like each other. And I don't know how long as somebody who's watching AEW, I know I suspend my disbelief as a wrestling fan in general for what I watch. But at this point, I was like, the Don Callis delusion can only go so far. Like Don, you mean to tell me for the last couple of months, you still think everything is hunky dory and everything is going to work out? I was like, my guy, have we not seen the animosity between these two? Like, be so for real. I'm hoping, and to be honest, I don't know if it's going to happen. I need this to happen because I'm ready for the next chapter. Takeshita should be the one to win at Double or Nothing. I love Okada, I truly do. I am hoping that Takeshita takes this title off of Okada and we get him running with the international championship. That is all I have to say on that matter. But I really enjoyed this match. I really did. That's kind of my final thoughts on it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like if Okada wins and like this is just the start of the feud, I'm gonna be pissed.
We
Because
There's so much
what are we
history
doing?
between these 2. Yeah, there's so much history. We did not need to drag this out. Let Takeshita win. It can go take a month or 2 off, and then y'all if y'all wanna get back to it, then you can, but let what we're doing with Darby, we should do it with Takeshita. He out here fighting people, and again, Forbidden Door is around the corner. I know Okada is the big name, but I'm not gonna lie, I think Okada should be on the card, but I would love to see Takeshita defend the international championship against, honestly, anybody from whether it be CMLL or New Japan, honestly, because that to me is fresher than Okada fighting his homies, if I'm being real.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And I'm gonna be honest, like, I feel like this is just me dream booking, and I know, a lot of podcasters be like, "Fans should not dream book and should not book for companies because they don't know what they're doing." I'm not gonna lie. If I would have Takeshita win the title from Okada at Double or Nothing, and then at Forbidden Door, if you wanna show the wrestling fans, like, what New Japan could be about. No shade, I love all the Japanese wrestlers, but I because of how much I enjoyed their previous encounters, let's do a Takeshita ELP, run that back for a 3rd time. Like, those
Yeah,
TV title matches between those 2 was fun.
yeah, and they have so much chemistry. But the whole thing about like fans shouldn't be fantasy booking. It's fun to fantasy book, right? It's not working yourself into a shoot where you believe your own stuff, right? Like, don't get angry when your stuff doesn't get booked. Like
Uh,
that's where
agreed.
we get wrong. That's where we go wrong.
Agreed. So, fantastic match. Darby retains the championship post-match. We get this contract signing where MJF signs it, so it is officially title versus hair. At Double or Nothing, MJF drops Darby, continues to beat him up. Kevin Knight comes out for the save, and that is how Dynamite goes off the air. So it's like, cool beans. So that was Dynamite. All right, Benny, ready for Collision? Let's get into part 2. So time for AEW. So let's just get into it, and let's just get through Collision. So, Collision this week kicks off with a promo from the Death Riders, Moxley addressing people in general, Claudio addressing Brody King, Pac addressing the haters, and Marina Shafir calling people bitches. Love that. It's fantastic stuff. Speaking of Marina
Yeah,
Shafir, we're talking a little bit about this offline, but Tony, put her back in the ring. Like, is she injured? Like, is there something we don't know about? Like, what's tea? Because, like, we were doing stuff with Marina. And then we're not. I want her to start fighting girls, fight bitches. Like,
it's great. Like, at least start building something for Forbidden Door. At least, like after Double or Nothing. Like, I don't know. Like, I really want. We were doing good things. We were doing good things with Marina, but now
we stop.
that the Tony feud is over, she's just back to being backstage. But I digress. Mox, exactly. I really like this promo from Mox, and because he was essentially answering Kyle O'Reilly, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle ends up getting the beating Mox, and we get the match at Double or Nothing. And Claudio doesn't speak enough. Always a great promo. He speaks 5 languages, so it's weird that we don't hear him enough. And I like the dynamic between Pac and Danny Garcia.
I agree. But yeah, so Death Riders got some things lined up for them over the next couple of weeks. So, all right, we're going to see how that all develops for us right here. But let's continue on with Collision. So, again, this was built up from not Death Before Dishonor, Super Card of Honor. Death Before Dishonor is the next one whenever we get that. But this match officially was kind of made officially, unofficially, officially again at Supercard of Honor over the weekend, in which we have, the conglomeration being made up of Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and a returning Mark Briscoe, which I love seeing Mark. I've missed him dearly, him and his craziness. Are we good? So taking on Shane Taylor Promotions, STP, which of course is made up of the infantry and our Ring of Honor pure champion, this Tiger Style himself, Lee Moriarty. Again, we said our ROH thoughts last night during our Supercard of Honor. Very weird to see because I thought we were possibly turning Moriarty a little bit of more face given his recent interactions and matches he's been having, like especially with Nigel. But apparently, we're leading him back more towards heel because he was beating up Dalton Castle and the Outrunners, after they won the titles from STP. So very interesting. I had fun with this match. Collision tends to have has some of my funner matches of the week. I thought this was fun. I had fun.
Yeah, they really leaned into the fact that Dynamite has become like the PWG show and Collision has become the ROH show. And I like that Lee was talking crap to Nigel on the outside on commentary,
Yes.
right? At the beginning.
Yes.
So great.
I'm not gonna lie. If we get a round 3 between those, I ain't gonna be mad. I'm not gonna lie. Because I really enjoyed the 2 iterations that we had with them.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Lee had pointed out today that the chain link on the octopus hold, like abdominal stretch, was a Drunken Master reference.
Yes. We love the way of the drunken master.
Oh, Lee, you're a nerd, and I appreciate you.
I wanna hang out with him.
Right?
And he has artwork too. I was like, "You're a nerd and you have art. Let's go."
I think all of it's about El Santo. I love it, man. Like,
Lee Moriarty, they can never make me hate you.
the thing is, right? Like the conglomeration, like I thought this was a little weird because they were like, it's an eliminator match, but like these aren't the champions.
That's what I
And
said. I was like, "Are we gonna freebird these titles? Are we gonna freebird them? Like, who knows?"
yeah, because Mark didn't have a title, like
Whatever.
all right, maybe I'm just being nitpicky, but
No, you should be nitpicky, but they should explicitly say, because you don't need to go into detail, but you gotta explicitly say for storytelling and on-screen purposes, "Hey, the trios championship with how big the conglomeration is Freebird rule, so any 3 members can defend the titles at the time," and I'm like, "Down, love that." But you gotta say something on TV and not just say, "Hey, this is an eliminator match," and not have the 3 people that are holding the titles in the match. You have 2/3 of them, 66% is still not passing.
that was great.
I am a teacher, but I also have the mindset that C's get degrees, y'all. It is okay.
I thought that these guys had crazy chemistry. Like the infantry and Lemore, like I haven't seen them team up very much, right? Like it's usually Shane Taylor, but like I thought all six of these people really worked well together.
Agreed.
And man, I really wish we get to see STP more often than we do.
You know what? I really hope this is like a litmus test to see how the AEW crowd deals with it, like how they react to STP. Because again, they held those 6-man titles for not for like super long, but it was a good. I would say it was a good chunk of time of them being champions. So I hope that means that hey, if let's put them on Collision because they've also been on Collision before. And I honestly think that the infantry and Trish and Lee and Shane Taylor, I feel like they should all be put on AEW television. And I think their time in Ring of Honor, I don't want to say is over because anyone can be there. But I honestly think that putting those 5 on Collision would definitely, to me personally, it would it would diversify like the possibilities of things you can do in terms of collision matches. Like you can put the infantry in tag matches. Moriarty can have like matches like singles wise. Like if you want to do and again, I know ROH and AEW don't necessarily go hand in hand, but like I would love to see him throw out open challenges, be like, y'all, again, storytelling in ROH. This would be great. Be like, hey, I ran through everybody here in ROH, so now I'm gonna put the title on the line on AEW television and like do open challenges against people on Collision because that'd be fun unless you get more people to tune into it, ROH. But you know what? Again, I don't write the stories. But I do believe that STP, all of them, Infantry, Shane Taylor, Trish, and Moriarty, I think there is a lot of potential and they just need to be given the chance. Because I do think the AEW crowd would get behind them. Thank you
I
for coming to my TED Talk.
completely agree. And it's almost like a yearly thing that they make an impact and then right back to like it was like right around this time last year when Shane Taylor had that match with Swerve, where like Nana and the infantry
That was
were, like,
such a good
betting on
match, man.
the
That was a good
over,
match. And the crazy thing
but
is like the infantry, even though they were kinda getting booed, the crowd was also behind them at Revolution when they were going up against, Boom and Doom at the on 0 Hour. Like,
yeah,
infantry was getting some cheers, and they were behind him too, so I was like, "Let's do it. Come on now." Alrighty. But
I'm
we
here
talked a
for it,
lot about
but
this. Yeah. We don't work for the company, but Tony Khan, we would love to talk. I'm just saying. Anyways, let's keep it going. This was a fun opener. And let's keep this train rolling. So, speaking of the conglomeration, Kyle O'Reilly is coming after John Moxley, and they're going to be fighting tomorrow night. So, I was just like, I smell a stunt. I smell a stunt.
yeah, this was great. I really liked the Willow segment of this. Kyle O'Reilly never changed, man. Never changed.
Listen, cool Kyle, I love you. Cool Kyle forever. Like, I love this
Yeah.
man's.
I really missed the flare bump from Cool Kyle, but I understand why he doesn't do it anymore, 'cause he
I
just
agree.
landed on his head, and he's got
Yeah.
neck issues. So,
Like, we want him to be sustainable. But I also agree with you. I really love the Willow spot, which again, Collision and Dynamite, if you can, do this more often, where people who will be fighting, like we got Willow's things, and then immediately she makes her entrance, but then we cut into Red Velvet talking her shit. Betty,
mm,
like, I was like, yeah. I was like, I love this. Do more of this, Collision. Like, opponents should be fighting before making, like, have them cut promos before making entrances. And again, Titantron Red Velvet is fantastic, which then leads into, of course, our match. Willow Nightingale defending her TBS championship against the ROH Women's Television champ, Miss Red Velvet, straight from Yo Mama's kitchen. This was equally as fun. Like yesterday, we talked about how much I really enjoyed Red and Viva Van. I also enjoyed Willow and Red Velvet. I was like, yes, Black excellence, loved it. I feel like Red has gotten so much better, and I'm like, the presentation and the attitude is so good, and I'm just like, I love Red, and I love Willow. I liked watching this match, if you couldn't tell. Anyways, Betty, how do we feel about this one?
yeah, I love this one because, as I said yesterday, I don't really know which way Red falls in the heel face dynamic, but in this one, she was the de facto heel because 'cause you're going up against Willow Nightingale. You're not getting the crowd to boo Willow. So, and there was a great moment where, like, Willow just, like, smiles at the camera right before the commercial break, and, man, Willow's so great. I agree that the new entrance video is pretty great. Apparently, it was done by the same person who's done all the Trio of Madness,
And, yeah,
Triangle of Madness.
I love her work.
Mm,
She's done a lot. She's done Triangle of Madness. I believe she also separately did Julia and Sky Blue's individual ones too. She's done a photo shoot with Brian Cage, which was fun to watch. She also was the one who did the video. I know it's not AEW related, but I freaking
mm,
loved it. Like, the whole entire Titantron video for The Righteous in TNA
mm.
as well. Like, she did that whole thing, and it is so good, and I follow her on TikTok, and I love her. She's great. Support
Yeah.
people 'cause she's doing fantastic photo shoots and videos, and I love that AEW is constantly using her to do these things with their wrestlers. It's so good.
Yeah, she's a hell of an artist. I really respect her.
Hell to the yeah.
This match was so much fun. We want to talk about too many belts, though. Two of the graphics we've already shown for Collision, each person has a belt.
They're like, "Listen, we're in the same place that we just had Death Before Dishonor, so how many of y'all gonna stick around for Collision?" So or not no, Supercard, darn it, I keep saying Death Before Dishonor.
Yeah, that's fun. At this
Oh,
point, it doesn't. At this point, there's only three of them, so it doesn't really matter.
for reals. I'm not saying that we need to, but just as a sidebar, ROH, I would love to go to a ROH pay-per-view in Southern California. Just saying. Anywho, fun match. Willow retains the TBS championship. This was great. Moving on though, in Collision though, your favorite pillar is about to speak. I said this yesterday. I really and we kind of talked a little bit about it yesterday during our Supercard post show. I really do like this character for Sammy. He's just the right amount of annoying, but not like in the go away kind of annoying. Be like, oh, you're gonna suck, but I'm kind of here for you. In terms of like behavior and attitude, I was like, I'm gonna want to throw things at you, but I'm also here for it. I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
But this
Uh,
short promo, call out Darby.
yeah, I completely agree. Like at one point, he was just like, "I beat Darby 4 times," and it's like, I'm a statistic nerd. And it's like, when, like 2023, like what are we talking about here?
Why we lying, Sammy? Why we
What
lying?
why do I not remember this? Because it was such a big win that I don't remember it.
But
That's what a heel's supposed to do, you know?
I
It's fine.
yeah, so again, Sammy, like, talking up the main event, he's gonna take this title from Darby, and speaking of Darby, we cut to commercial and come back, Darby has words for Sammy, and I was just like, "Cool, promos before this," and I'm like, "Not gonna be mad." Lexi
Mm,
Dare doing the Lord's work. She was busy this episode of Collision with all the interviews she was doing.
yeah, I
Well,
like the, like, little promos and like, on the way to the ring or whatever, you know? It's nice. It's a little old school wrestling thing. I love it.
yes. Leave them for a couple minutes before they have to go to the ads, then come back with a promo to be like, "Alright, and we're back."
Sometimes, literally, you can hear Tony counting them.
Yeah, for reals. It's fantastic. We love that. Alrighty. But after Darby's little promo, we get into Mark Briscoe gets attacked. Well, a brawl starts backstage. We go into the arena. Tommaso Ciampa is fighting Mark Briscoe, and these two gonna be fighting tomorrow, and anything goes. And I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna die, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I really like this one. Once again, this is very old school wrestling where it's just like somebody talking to the camera, like, and then like somebody comes up and just hits them from behind and they fall right into the arena. It's pretty fun. It took a little bit a little while to get going, but like it was fine, you know?
Hey, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. The card that we have so far for this 3 hour show tomorrow is absolutely bananas. Like I was like, oh my god, this looks like a fun go home show.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Most definitely.
And Portland got a good show. That's for sure.
Yes. Alrighty, so let's keep going. You know what? Didn't hate this match. The Ops versus Lethal Twist. This was pretty decent. Really nice to see Anthony Bowens give this aggression. I was like, finally! Thank God. That to me, that's the most important part of this match, honestly. I was like, the match was cool. Like, I didn't have issues with it. But watching Anthony Bowens give me this aggression, I'm like, finally, this is all I've been asking for this man. Give this man something to do, and he will do it well. And then, of course, post match, because spoiler alert, the Ops beat Lethal Twist. Joe has some words for Osprey. Still a little confused on how we got here, but he's going to turn Will's dream into a nightmare when he beats him at Double or Nothing. I'm like, hey, you know what? Simple and effective. Looking forward to the match still.
Yeah, like, it makes sense. Like, I'm gonna go backwards on this one because you just talked about the promo. Like, it sort of makes sense because, like, to me, like, because we didn't see the interaction between Joe and Osprey, right? Like, Joe was telling Osprey all that stuff for, like, weeks, and Osprey was just like, "I'm just not answering your phone call. Like, I'm sorry. Like, whatever." You know, I got other things to do. And I'm like, this all makes sense. I really like this match. This is probably one of my favorite matches of the week, to be honest with you. Like, it was really short because it's Joe, and Joe's one of my favorites. And Bowens, I really like this new set of Bowens, even if we only got it for a few minutes, you know. I always thought that Bowens was a better bad guy, better heel than he is a babyface. Because he's sort of, I'm not saying he's not likable, just like he's better heel. I don't know how else to say it. Like,
He has more of like an upward trajectory when he's allowed to just be a little heelish than he is a babyface. Because don't get me wrong, I love him as a babyface too. It's just that there wasn't a really too much direction for him to go. But I think him being with the Ops and being more aggressive and like having this more dynamic shift in the character, like it's still the same Anthony Bowens because he's gonna give it his all in everything that he does. But being in the Ops now and letting him allow to take his frustration and just beat people up, I was like, I'm here for this. I'm here for it. He finally has something of substance, and he has somewhere where there's a lot more room for upward trajectory for him and his overall in ring and his, stint in AEW. Like I hope this is something of a new great chapter for Bowens now that we've kind of officially put the Acclaimed hopefully to rest officially now.
yeah, absolutely. And like Bowens, I think is like he's not that great of a talker, anyways. So like if he's just allowed to be aggressive and then like say like 3 lines, like that's great. I'm here for it. You know, Jay Lethal looks really great right now. Jay Lethal, what else did I say? Like Lee Johnson, it was nice seeing you, bud.
That's
Because
true.
he let something out in the beginning of this match, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a fine.
Like, bye-bye.
Nice seeing you, bud."
Crazy. Fantastic. Love that. Alright, but yeah, I thought this was fun. Alright, let's keep going though through Collision. Like I said, we got the promo. Joe, you're great on the mic. I love you. Fun stuff. Alright, after this though, Swerve is coming in hard for Bandito. And Brody King wants to fight Swerve, but Bandito's like, "No, no, amigo, like, I love you, and I'm happy that you're being a supportive bestie, but this is my fight, and if Swerve wants to bring the aggressiveness, then he better be ready because Bandito has a lot of aggression to work out to after what happened at Supercard of Honor and the cop killer being put upon Bandito. Very
Yeah.
interested to see how this turns out on Sunday. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love this fire from Bandito. It's just what I wanted to see, you know? It's gonna sound weird, but I'd much rather have him speak Spanish than talk English, speaking English,
Yes!
like, th
Yes!
because he I let everybody who doesn't speak, you know, English as a first language, let them speak their native language and put subtitles underneath. 'Cause you'll get
AEW,
gen
you have done it before. Like,
yeah, you'll get more natural promos out of them, you know? And
and there's just something about, like, cutting promos in different language too that adds such a different,
mm,
like, intonation, and, like, a viscosity, that's an SAT
yeah.
word, in the promos, and there's just like, "Oh my gosh, he is just." And then, I mean, when you translate it, it's like basic 101 promo, but I'm like, in a different language with the passion and the context and the dialect choices. I'm a linguistic, if you couldn't tell. But, like, there is something more effective. Ooh, I hit my microphone.
Excited.
Listen, here's the thing, like, AEW has prided itself. I mean, there's literally a pay-per-view called Forbidden Door where you're taking people from different places around the world and different promotions around the world and throwing them together in matches. So why not, if you have wrestlers who are somewhat bilingual, like Bandito is, who can speak decent enough English, but also could
Oh,
cut
yeah.
really great promos in Spanish, let them cut more promos in their native language because to me as a fan, it's such a unique dynamic that not a lot of other companies are doing. And again, there's something more I can get behind when you allow them to bring their history and their experience and their language to the TV screen. Like,
Yeah, it's just more
that's all I'm
authentic.
saying.
It's just more authentic, you know? And authentic to them, you know? And the last thing I'll say is that where do I get that T-shirt Brody is wearing? Like, oh my god. Like, I
Brody
couldn't take my eyes
King
off it the whole time.
Brody King got the fits, and I need to know, like, drop where we getting these, Brody, because I will buy it right now.
You're goddamn right. Great Predator shirt.
Oh, Brody King is a nerd, and I love him, and he's
Yeah.
fantastic. Alrighty, let's keep this going, though. So, we got a Divine Dominion Open Challenge, and guys, I was just really happy to see Allie Catch on my screen. I was like,
Yeah.
it was a bit of a squash match, but I don't care. I was like,
Yeah.
I love Allie.
Yeah, it was a squash, and it was great to see Allie and Kylie McKenna, who's an
Yeah.
up and comer. Well, what do you think about the Divine Dominion 5-minute challenge thing?
I'm not against it. I wish they built it up a little bit better, being like, this is they're going to be their shtick now. I also think this is probably just a tool to get them on television, not for too long, because I still firmly believe that it is the Brawling Birds at Divine Dominion at Wembley. I am still holding on to that fact. Again, things can change. They could be sooner than that. It could be longer than that. Not opposed to this challenge. I do wish though that they built it up, be like, "Hey, they decided to do this. Why? Here's a brief explanation as to why they're doing it." And I also do hope that while it will be fun for a little bit to watch them, take on local talent, I would like them to try to do this with some of our more established girls here on this roster, like who are actual teams. Now, they're busy in Japan at the moment, but I would love, as funny as it would be, to see the inspiration try to come after these titles with the girls. I was like, Lord help us, that'd be hilarious. But
Yeah,
I want them to start fighting, like, the established tag teams. Brawling Bird, I still think Sheeta and Stat gonna be a tag team here very soon. Like, we'll see how it goes.
somebody else returned to. Well, they beat their own challenge because last week they did 2 minutes and 60 seconds, and this time it was 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Yeah, record, love.
Awesome. Great stuff.
Guys, you can't tell, but Benny is so enthused, and he loves this.
Oh, yeah, especially when one of my favorites gets beat in a minute and 50. So, okay, just happy to see her.
Oh, buddy. Nah,
Also,
I mean,
where's Penelope? Like,
we know she's cleared, like, what's going on, girl? What's tea? Or maybe
it
I'm thinking something else, I don't know.
even still, like, they're doing, like, pre-tapes, like, you can't, like, fly her in or whatever to do
What
pre-tapes? Like,
Whatever.
'cause Megan's doing some pretty good promos of late, but Penelope's far better of a talker. That's just me.
I agree. I think Penelope has more experience in terms of being a talker more than Megan. Megan's getting better, and I do like when you let Megan just be just simple and clean, so to speak, with the promos. I was just like, I love it. Great. But
Mm,
if you want the longer ones, Penelope's your go-to. Love Lena,
yeah,
but Penelope should be the mouthpiece for these two because the three of them are a little faction, and I'm here for it.
yeah. That's clearly still trying to figure out who she is in AEW. So, those promos are fine. They're absolutely fine. I'm not putting them down.
Fair point. All right, let's keep going. I actually really like that Nigel was the one to come talk to Leo about this. I was just like, this is hey, you know what? If we get a follow-up with the fallout between Andretti and Leo, because like now we got the red contacts, I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. Love the black heart. Great stuff.
It was fine. Get it?
I love this for Leo. I truly do. I think it's great.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. They clearly did this like pre-tape, like right after it's Supercard, But like, I'm so here for it. I've been a big fan of this black art stuff, and I've been a really big fan of going back and finding that, because he's been wrestling in Britain for like the last year or so. That like, I don't
His
know,
progress matches have been really good.
Yeah, his Riot Cabaret matches are fantastic.
Yeah, love me some Riot Cabaret. Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually really this is a fun one. I had
Oh, I
fun
like.
with this. Huh?
Sorry, I was just gonna say I love the dynamic between Mark Davis and Dogs. Like,
Oh
wow.
my god, right? I was like, "You know what? This could be a really fun fit until Gabe comes back from injury." I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was totally hip for this, like, and they're just throwing around dudes. It was the Rascals get that, like, triple kick thing they've been doing, like, I'm sure they've been doing it for a while, but, like, it's pretty cool looking.
It really is. And honestly, I think Mark Davis with the dogs works out too, because lest we forget, Mark Davis is also a New Japan guy as well. So he's worked with these two already in the past as well when him and
Mm,
Kyle were in Japan. So I don't know. There's just something about this picture where like Mark Davis fits so well with the dogs in this picture, like honestly.
yeah, honestly, it does, and he's a menace. So, like, I wouldn't mind him seeing like, I know he's, like, the big brute in the Don Callis family, but how many big brutes does the Don Callis family need, you know?
N
Just saying.
There's too many. Like, let's be real, there are too many.
Yeah.
Love them, but too many. Fun little match. Davis and the Dogs pick up the victory over the Rascals. I love it. And again, like we said on yesterday's post show, Des got his work cut out for him because him and AR Fox, whenever we get that match on Honor Club, that match gonna slap for the ROH TV championship.
Oh, yeah, I also heard about Mark Davis and Adam Priest. Oh my god.
This is why ROH needs stories, but that's not our this is not the show. Damn it, ROH, you have some baller matches, but we want some story threads too. But that's not the show for this. Anyways, let's keep going. Now, I know we've got like 3 iterations of this returns, but this definitely shuts down the rumors that Anna Jay is done with AEW. And I really hope this actually means that Ty is actually back more full time and we get Tay J. I know Tay J is not everyone's cup of tea. I do want them to get a little bit more experience, as the kids say. But I have missed Tay. I'm one of the few people that I know that she's not everyone's cup of tea, but I want people to be on television, and I know she loves wrestling, and she's had a really hard time, especially the way that she was treated when she was in NXT and everything that went around about that. So Tay J is back, hopefully more permanently, because yes, more women's tag teams that are actual tag teams, please. That is what I am looking for, even though if this is the third time they've returned, quote unquote. Moving on. So, okay, main event time, right? Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara. I thought it was fine. I didn't think. Now, compared to Darby and Takeshita, obviously this was nowhere going to be near that. I kind of wanted a little more from this. I don't think it was bad, but I was like, it was fine. I did appreciate the storytelling bit though, because Darby Allin passed out for a little bit in this match because now we're starting to tell the story of Darby is doing all these crazy matches and it's just burning the candle, we like burning the midnight oil, so to speak. And now it's starting to take its toll, which is, it's probably going to come into play Sunday, but this is a fine main event. I didn't have any issues with it.
Yeah, it was pretty fun, like, I like the wrinkle of, like, Darby passing out. I just don't know how you get a title shot after being accident ready.
That part. I was like, wow.
But hey, if you invite the boss to your wedding, I guess you get title shots, you know? Well,
Hey,
that
anything is
was
possible.
that was ultra petty on my part. I apologize, like
We love a petty queen. What are you talking about?
yeah.
We love
Well,
a petty queen.
there really wasn't much to say about this one. Like, it was just a Sammy match, and I think he's fine. Like, he's just not my cup of tea, and that's fine. Like, I don't have to like everybody, you know? Fine.
Mhm.
I think he's a fantastic performer. He's just not for me, you know?
No, I totally agree with you. I like Sammy a little bit more, but hey, you know what? I'm just one person on the internet. Darby retains the championship, and that is how AEW Collision goes off the air. Loved it. So that is our AEW post show part. But don't touch that dial. Let's get into this, and I will cut this up and put it into a separate video as well. But DC Wrestle Pod nerds, Benny and I are here to, you know, give our predictions as of Tuesday, May 19th, 2026 at 7:32 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are here to do our predictions for AEW's Double or Nothing. We really, 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 really are. I'm looking forward to the show. I have questions about how we got here for some of these things, but I'm looking forward to it. So, Benny, in our AEW group chat, I put the link to this Google form. Welcome to season 2 of our predictions league for AEW. What is at stake here is there's going to be a fun little championship belt at the end of this for the ultimate winner of this season's predictions. I will not buy myself one because that is kind of crazy. But if at this point it's everybody, it's literally it's everybody versus me. I will say though, Benny came very close to dethroning me. I just eked out Dynasty. I eked it out by one. It was way too close for comfort.
I didn't even see what the final score was.
It's okay. I could tell you off camera, but welcome to season 2. We've reset the board. AEW's prediction season goes from Double or Nothing to Dynasty for us here at BC WrestlePod. So, Benny, Mr. Benny T Bear, Mr. Benny Thunder Bear, let's get into these predictions, shall we? So as of right now, we only have the main card, but tomorrow, the Dynamite episode, which would be Wednesday, May 20th, 2026, the 3-hour show that we're getting tomorrow for the go home, we can probably see like 18 more matches added to the card, which we will update and have the official final match order when these predictions go up Saturday morning, which is now if you're watching it. But let's get into these predictions really quickly. So, Benny, let's talk about it. The first couple of predictions we're going to be talking about is our Owen Hart tournament the quarterfinal matches, not semifinals, sorry. Now let's talk about this first one. So we have our women's quarterfinal match, one of the first ones happening at Double or Nothing, in which we see our TBS champion, Miss Willow Nightingale, taking on our NJPW strong women's champion, Miss Alex. I think this match is going to be a slobber knocker. I think these girls going to hit hard, throw hard, and I loved it. I wish this was not a quarterfinal match because I would like to see both of them go far into this. But I think this is going to be a really fun match. I think this is going to be good. I hope they get 15 minutes because I think both of them can. But, Tony Khan doesn't like to listen to us. But I still think this is going to be a really fun match because of everything that has transpired. And I wish we had more going on with Windsor and Willow at the moment. I do think greater things are waiting for them after Double or Nothing. But for the sake of where we're going, I love Windsor, but I'm going to go with Willow Nightingale with this one. I think Willow at least makes it to the semis, being a previous Owen Hart champion, which I'd love that too. I'm going to go with Willow. It's really hard to bet against a Willow, to be completely honest, but it's also Alex Windsor, and I'm torn, but I'm going to go with Willow because I got to pick somebody. Benny, who you going with for this one?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with Willow. I started never to bet against Willow, even when one of my new favorite wrestlers is going up against her, and Alex Winter. Yeah, Willow Nightingale for the win.
Cool. Cool beans. Alrighty. So we keep the Owen Hart talk going because now let's get into our two men's quarterfinal matches. First, let's talk about. Hold on. Let me change it. There we go. This one, I'm like, ooh, this one gonna be a burner. Hopefully that hammy is doing a lot better for Bandito because it was looking a little wonky after his match with Blake Christian at Supercard this past weekend. But in a Owen Hart men's quarterfinal match, Swerve Strickland versus Bandito. Again, wish this was a semifinal match, not a quarterfinal match, because these two going to tear the roof off of the arena, in my personal opinion. And I really do love that within like 2.5 weeks, you've made me locked in for this match and you built this up to be really, really fun. And Swerve is just a prick, and I love it. He's just like, I'm just gonna beat everyone up because I can, and what are you gonna do about it? I love Bandito, and again, Bandito is my 2026 men's wrestler of the year, or 2025, I should say. But I gotta go with Swerve, man. He took a couple weeks off, and he back at it. He brought the fire. I think there's a lot of momentum after, again, delivering a cop killer onto Bandito at the end of, his match at Supercard. I'm gonna go with Swerve on this one, and it hurts me because I love Bandito, but I think Swerve's gonna move on to the semis. Betty, who you got?
Swerve for the win. This one is going to be so innovative, it's gonna rule. The last few Swerve matches on pay-per-view have really found a new level of violence, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Me too.
Yeah, and because he delivered the Gringo Killer to Bandito on Friday, the other name for that move. Also called it the Breda Breaker, but I digress. Swerve for the win.
Swear for the win. And nobody's gonna tell me anything. I'm gonna call it the cop killer because that is what it's originally called with Swerve. So fight me.
No, no, I'm not correct.
No, not you. Not you, Betty. I'm talking about people on the internet because people on the internet are weird. But let's continue. So our final Owen Hart match happening at Double or Nothing is another men's quarterfinal match, and this one's also going to be a slobber knocker for different reasons. Though we got Will Ospreay, who is currently training underneath the dojo of the Death Riders, taking on this man is multi-talented, and I love me some Joe. You can never make me hate him. But you got Will Ospreay training underneath the dojo of the Death Riders, taking on Samoa Joe training under that "I'ma beat the tar out of you," the Ops. This gonna be an interesting match. I'm looking forward to this. I think this is gonna be an underrated match. I think this has the potential to be like my dark horse, to be real. So I'm very interested to see how these styles clash a little bit, especially to see what Will gonna do, given the fact that he's kind of changed up in character of how he's handling his wrestling. He's not doing this high flying, high spots like hidden blade kind of things. He's being more grounded, and I'm kind of liking this. This one's hard because I want Joe to win because I think Joe deserves everything because he's fantastic. But because of the story that we're getting, I got Osprey winning this one and moving on to the semis. Benny, who you got?
Yeah, same. Osprey for the win. I think this is the first like it's a perfect opponent for him at this stage because Joe brings out the best in everybody, and even this late into his career, like we're reaching the final stretch, right? Like he's not putting in like half an hour bangers anymore. Like I don't see this one going long, but it's gonna be great. Joe
Is
forever.
yes. I'm gonna cry when Joe retires, whenever that is. Like,
Just thinking about it now just made me like, oh no.
we're gonna pretend that doesn't exist until we have to cross that bridge. But you know what? At least Joe got things to do outside of wrestling. Hopefully, if he continues his acting, is gonna be great. And also, this man plays a hell of a villain in video games.
Yeah, I didn't realize his IMDb was filled up with that many video game credits.
Homeboy was the main villain of the latest Yakuza game. It was
Yeah.
crazy. So this is great stuff for Joe. I love him. But Osprey for the win. Alrighty, we leave the Owen Harts and now we get into the rest of the card. First and foremost, Stadium Stampede. It has been a hot minute since we had a Stadium Stampede, and my God, this just got crazier because it is a 7-on-7. 14 people's gonna be nuts. So on the one side, we have Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, and the Elite taking on the Demand, Mark Davis and Andrade of the Don Callis family and the Dogs. Against my better judgment, because of how things have been going for him, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm going with Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, and the Elite winning here because Ricochet has just been getting one up on Jericho ever since he returned. I think this is where Jericho gets the win, I should say, but it's not a singles win, so I'm not really mad about that. But I hope
Yeah.
this is it. I think we all need to move on. I think Jericho and Ricochet have done their job for Jericho's first return feud, and I think this is where Jericho gets the win. So I'm going with Jericho, Hurt Syndicate, and the Elite.
Same.
Going to be very interesting to see what we do because unless the athletic commission is the same everywhere in New York, very interested to see how we gonna get the crazy stuff without bleeding, or maybe they will bleed. Who knows? We'll see. Tony Khan got money; he can pay them fines. All right, we keep it going though. I don't know, Benny. Like I'm not liking either option, but for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, this is an I Quit match. So they stopped saying that this was gonna be a street fight I quit match. Now it's just a straight I quit match, which means anything's gonna go. I don't like either option, to be perfectly honest. However, I am hoping that after this, we can finally free the titles up here and we can get all the other tag teams that are waiting in the wings to finally go after this. And remember, there is also the added later that should Cope and Christian lose, they got to break up as a tag team. And FTR doesn't really have any stakes going into this like that. I don't know. Again, I don't like either option, but I am going to go with Cage and Cope because hopefully they can have a short 2-3 month reign and then we can have them have the titles get to someone else because FTR has done enough. Them boys, I think, have run the course as tag team champions and have kind of defeated a good chunk of the team. So let's free these titles up and be done with this program. I'm going to go with Cage and Cope. It's probably going to bite me, but that is what I'm going with.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the same, Cope and Christian. I know that All Out this year is in Montreal or something. That's one of the big pay-per-views coming up. It's gonna be Toronto or whatever, up in Canada. And I don't want them to hold the titles for too long either, but I know we're gonna get some bangers out of it. So Cope and Christian for the win.
Sweet. All righty, Benny. Next up, our AEW International Championship match. The feud that has gone on for a really long time and been a really slow burn, which it didn't necessarily need to be. But again, on paper, I know this match gonna slap. And then according to what the kids say, this match gonna eat. It's gonna be great. I think this is gonna be a fantastic match against my better judgment because Tony Khan loves Okada, and I do love Okada. I'm gonna go with Takeshita here because I feel that Okada I think has done enough with the international championship. I truly believe. It's been a really fun run with him. I liked him as a champion. But now I think it is time to turn the page and let Takeshita run with an international championship run. And honestly, I want Takeshita to be like Orange Cassidy, just fight everybody left and right every week.
Yes.
Be the fighting champion because that Orange Cassidy run is still one of my favorites of this titles iteration.
Oh, definitely.
So I got Takeshita.
Yeah, same. I think this feud has gone on a little bit too long, but the interactions that they have had have been incredible. Like the Young Bucks, these two match a couple months ago was incredible. So let's get to it, boys. Top top.
Seriously. Alrighty. So let's get into it. We got two more matches. AEW Women's World Championship. I'm excited because this is a lot of heavy hitters. I also think that's the detriment to this match is because you took a lot of your heavy hitters away from some stuff. I'm a little upset. This is that they just announced it with not any really big build up, but I'm still looking forward to this match. But this is easy. Tech.
Same. There's no reason to take the belts off her right now to do the amazing work. And the story between rather Chris and Cheetah still needs another wrinkle. So I see that wrinkle playing out in this. So that was for the ones.
And finally, AEW World Championship hair versus title. I feel like it's a cliche to say this. Now, if AEW were to truly go there, I think I would be entertained AF. But because of what we saw in Collision, and honestly, I think what's going to be the thing, I think this has been a really fun run for Darby. I really been enjoying Darby as champion. I'm going to go with MJF here. I do think MJF gets his title back, which I'm not mad at. Darby has had a really fun run. He didn't need a long run as champion to begin with. 6 title defenses, 7 after tomorrow in the span of a month. Love it. It's great. And the angle that they're playing up that Darby has been burning the midnight oil is going to catch up to him eventually. And I think Max is going to capitalize on that. And I got MJF here. Now, if they make Max shave his head though, that shit would be crazy and funny. And I'd be here for it because it's different. But I'm going to go with Max here.
That's it. I have an idea of where they're going. So which I'll tell you offline because I don't want to go on for too long. There's no way Max is shaving his head after all this.
No. Now, it'd be crazy stunt if they did. But yeah. I don't think Max is.
Unless he's doing it for a role, but I don't even know what that would be.
For reals. And that, my friends, has been our AEW Double or Nothing predictions as of right now. When this video goes up, you will probably about an hour later on the social medias, you will see our official final predictions of the card, which will probably include everything else. But that is it for us here at All Elite Ensemble. So we will be here for the post show on Tuesday, May 26th. Yes, I got that right. So our post show will be Tuesday, May 26th, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Betty and I will be breaking down all the action of Double or Nothing. But also, if you're going to be watching this at home, you should come join us for our watch along. We'll be going live Sunday, May 24th at 5 p.m. Pacific to do a watch along for Double or Nothing. So, but we got to get up on out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in from all of us here at BC WrestlePod to you at home. Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll catch you later, but until then, say and until next time, peace to your mother.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.